So as promised, today we are moving away from 2D shapes and we're going to be talking about 3D shapes. Now yesterday you had to kind of look at the names of the 2D shapes and sort them. And today you're going to actually be looking at the names and describing 3D shapes. But we're not going to be talking about all of the 3D shapes that you probably know because, again, you have been learning about 3D shapes since KG, and I know you definitely learned about it in grade 1 and grade 2, and now you're learning about it again this year, okay, in grade 3. So now let's jump in and see what we are going to be talking about. So 3D shapes are solid figures or objects. You guys know what a 3D shape is. Basically, it has 3 dimensions. It has length, width, and height. A 2D shape normally only has length and height, and so the width, which is how kind of thick it is or deep it is, that's what makes it 3D. So if you looked at your phone or your computer or your iPad versus a piece of paper is more of a 2D shape, whereas your phone, you can see that there's some width to it, okay? It's wide, it's deep, things like that. If you want to know a little bit more about 3D shapes, especially the 3D shapes that we're going to be talking about today, if you click on this link in the PowerPoint that I'll send through on Class Stories, this is a really good video that has lots of good information about the 3D shapes that we will be talking about today, okay? So if at the end of this you're still like, wait, what? Then please watch this video to help you. So here are the 3D shapes that we know. So you have a sphere, a cylinder, a cuboid, which is also called a rectangular prism. You have a cone, you have a hexagonal prism, that might be new, but you should know your pyramids. There's a square-based pyramid, a triangle-based pyramid, then we have our cube and our triangular prism, okay? So you should also know about faces, edges, and vertices, okay? Vertices are the easiest one to talk about because they're just the corners. So they're the pointy bits. So if it doesn't have any corners, it doesn't have any vertices, okay? So those are all vertices. Then we have our edges, which are the straight lines that connect. Okay, so all of these are edges. So those are just the lines that basically kind of are the outline of our shapes, okay? And then the last one that we have is faces, and that's the flat part. Normally that is what our 2D shape is. So when we have our cube, we know it's a cube because we can see the squares. It's made up of a bunch of squares, okay? When we see a cuboid, we know that it has rectangles in it. A cylinder has circles as faces, things like that. So a face is the flat part of the 3D shape. So it's like the bottom, the sides, and the top. Okay, now, vertices is plural. If there's just one, for example, in a cone, there's only one vertices, that's just a vertex. Now, also, for you to explore, if you click on this link in your PDF, obviously please don't click it in the video, otherwise it won't work. It will take you to this website where you can actually have a look through, okay, and practice your faces, edges, and vertices. So if I wanted to find all of the vertices, I would just click on the corners, okay, just like that. And it would show me all of the vertices. There is a way that you can turn this, but voila. Okay, so then I would just click vertices, and that's all of them. So there are 8. And then I can go and click on my faces. Oops, that's an edge, sorry. So 1, 2, so you can just keep clicking, it's kind of cool, and move it around like that. And then you have your edges, 1, 2, 3, so you can click it and see which ones you haven't done yet. Okay, so this is just an example if you're interested in doing that. So that one, you can literally just flick through and see if you've done them all. And then you can see that I have. So a cube has 6 faces, 12 edges, and 8 vertices. So if you're interested, you can go through, and there's all sorts of different shapes, okay, that you can choose. They might just have some silly names, so if you click on them, they might be able to help you with your different random shapes, but just something to help you practice your counting and things of shapes. So, as I said, we are actually not going to be talking today about things like, well, we're not going to be talking about the shapes the way we know them, okay? So we are actually going to be seeing if things are pyramids or prisms. So pyramids have rectangular faces, okay? Or sorry, pyramids don't have rectangular faces. They have one base, so that means they just have something on the bottom. There we go. And one pointy vertex at the top. So they have something that points at the top, but only one, okay? So if we look at our pictures here, I can already see that here's one vertex, one, and one. So all of these are going to be pyramids. And I didn't have to look very hard. I didn't have to count anything. I just knew that because it has a pointy top, it is a pyramid, okay? Now a prism has rectangular faces. So that means that anything else is going to be a prism, basically. So this one, see the rectangle? That's a prism. Then I have the square, which isn't really a rectangle, but it's still a prism. I have prism, a rectangle here, so that's a prism. Here's a rectangle shape, prism. You know, that's a rectangle, prism. And then we have rectangle on the side, so prism. Okay, so basically anything that's not a pyramid is a prism. At least in terms of when it has bases, faces, and edges and vertices, okay? So, your first job today is to go through and complete page 96 and 97, okay? So, you are going to look at the shapes for number 1, and all you're going to do is color the pyramids blue, okay? So anything that has, so it has one base, okay? But remember that a pyramid has the pointy bit at the top. So if it has only one pointy bit at the top, okay, so one pointy bit, then it is a pyramid. So you're gonna color those blue. Everything else, you are gonna color red, okay? Should have done this. So anything else you're gonna color red, the prisms you're coloring red, and the pyramids you are going to color blue. It doesn't have to be beautiful coloring, you can circle them, you can just put a line, and then you're done. Next, over here for question 1 on page 97, you are going to look at these pictures and you are going to tell me if it's a P for pyramid or a PR for prism. Then you are going to tell me the number of faces, edges, and vertices. So remember, faces are the sides and the base and the top. Edges are the sides, so like the straight lines. And then vertices are the corners. And that's all you're gonna do. And if you have these shapes at home, you can use those to help you, or you can look on the internet as well. They will help you too, okay? And that's basically all you have to do on this page. Number 2 and stretch your thinking are bonus, okay? Number 2 is not that tricky, but it's basically, it's fine. You've done enough work on those 2 pages. and we're not quite finished yet, okay? So you only have to answer question 1 on both pages. Nothing else you have to answer, okay? So we are also going to be talking about cylinders, cones, and spheres. So remember that a cone has a circular face at the bottom. So there's our circle face. Oh, I use a different color. There's our circle face, okay? It doesn't have real edges, because if you look at like an ice cream cone, it's more like circled. So even though it looks like it has kind of edges here, it doesn't. And if you have an ice cream cone, or if you make a cone out of paper, you'll see that it doesn't really have edges. But what a cone does have is the vertex at the top. So it has the point at the top. Next, we have a cylinder. And a cylinder has 2 circle faces, and then it's just curved. So this part is curved. And then obviously a ball, a sphere, is just, it looks like a ball, and it's just one curved face. So a pyramid and a prism, those are the ones that have faces, edges, everything, okay? And they're pointy, not smooth, there's nothing circular, they only have kind of straight sides. And the cylinders, cones, and spheres, they are the ones that have the circular parts to it, okay? So they have circular faces or circular curved things. The other shapes, prisms and pyramids, are not curved, okay? It should be pretty easy because you guys know what a cone, a cylinder, and a sphere look like. So those are pretty easy. So for example, here you go. Is it a cone, a cylinder, or a sphere? So start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? So 1 is a cone. So we're going to just put C. 2 is a ball, so it's a sphere. 3 is a cylinder. 4 is a cylinder. 5, cone. 6, sphere. 7, cone. Okay? Super easy. So, based on that, here's what you are going to do. You are going to answer number 1 on page 98, and you are just going to tell me if it's a cone, a cylinder, or a sphere. And you don't have to write them all out. You can literally just put C, CY, and S. Then, again, you are going to only complete question 1 on page 99, and you are going to tell me something that you have at home, okay, that looks like a cylinder, a sphere, and a cone. You're going to write it in this column. Then you're going to tell me how many vertices it is. Then you're going to tell me how many edges, and then how many faces. And if you look over here, wow, that could be some answers. So you don't really have to think that hard for this one, okay? And then 2 and 3 are again bonus. So if you want to do those, you can. So even though you are doing 4 pages of math, you're literally just doing 4 questions, and you don't have to write proper words. You just have to fill it in. And look, the answers are right there, just for you. Okay, and if you go back to this one, you'll see that they have some examples here too. So if you look at what we have here, you'll be able to see if they have similar things, okay? But remember, use the website to help you. So this page is probably gonna be a little bit trickier, but use the websites to help you. Go online, you can make some shapes as well. And there is some games and other practice work here that you can do. And remember, if you have things at home, you can make them and you can try and figure it out that way. Okay? And that's it. So this is all going to be due on Sunday. So you have today to complete it and the entire weekend. So hopefully you'll be able to get it done. And like I said, if you need help, please let me know. as I always say. You probably won't need help on this page, but if you definitely need help on this page, go for it. And remember, you only have to write P for pyramid and PR for prism, and then just the number of faces, and you can use this to help. So for your faces and edges and vertices, just be very careful and try to remember what all of those mean, okay? And that's it. So you need to complete page 96, 97, 98, and 99. Just questions 1 on all of those pages, and that's it. You're done. So enjoy, and hopefully talking about cones didn't make you want to have an ice cream cone like it did me. So good luck. Can't wait to see how you guys